Today we're going to talk about unloading trailers in construction. Now, every day there's an untold amount of loads of various materials and tools and equipment that are transported and offloaded at construction sites all over the world. Now, while the task of taking a load off a trailer is usually pretty straightforward, there are some things to consider, just like any other task. And there needs to be a certain amount of proper pre-planning to ensure a safe and efficient process. In our situation, we unload trailers really very, very often, both in the shop and out on job sites. So let's talk about pre-planning the unloading process. There are many things that need to be considered before the load just shows up on the site. Proper pre-planning and communication to all the people that are involved in the task is critical to ensure the process of receiving loads at the job site goes smoothly. Now, there are a couple of things to consider. First of all, the load itself. What's exactly showing up on each trailer? And also, how is it loaded? What tools, equipment, personnel is going to be required to safely get the load off the trailer. We may have to work with the trucking company ahead of time so that we can understand how the load's being shipped, what's required to get the load off the trailer at the job site. And then also, there are driver expectations. Do the drivers of the trucks coming onto the site understand what's expected of them? Such things as entry point to the site, delivery times, speed limit, escort requirements, personal protective equipment requirements, truck and trailer requirements, phone numbers, hazards, and things like that are just some items that need to be discussed with the trucking company or the driver if it's an internal situation who's delivering the materials. An effective way to communicate these items is to provide a journey management planning document to the trucking company stating any important information that's needed for the drivers. The drivers should then review and sign the document and have it with them when they come onto the site. It's necessary to state the importance of safety to the drivers while they are at your work site. Now, then there are some common hazards during the unloading of trailers. There are plenty of hazards when dealing with offloading trailers, variables such as worksite setup, equipment that's being used, material that's being offloaded, the type of the trailer, things of that nature. All of those things will determine what specific hazards are related to the task. And there's some common hazards for unloading activities that we can talk about. Struck by hazards are one of the biggest concerns during a work task that involves unloading a trailer. There can be many struck by hazards, including the actual load or moving equipment. Slips, trips, falls, also an issue. Climbing on and off the trailer poses fall hazards to those individuals that are assisting in offloading. Poor housekeeping or equipment such as straps or chains on the ground can pose trip hazards. Pinch points, those kind of hazards are also common while unloading trailers. Pinch points are abundant when you're dealing with lifting objects as well as during the staging of material on site. Caught in or caught in between hazards are present anytime there's heavy equipment moving or the load is being moved. So, unloading materials, tools, equipment from a truck or trailer may seem like a pretty straightforward process at face value, but there are many things to consider. So, proper pre-planning is a critical best practice in preventing incidents during this type of work task. Evaluate how you are currently unloading trailers. See what improvements you can make to make the task safer, to make the task go more efficiently. So think ahead. Wisdom is thinking of the consequences. Common sense is just wisdom in work clothes. So think about these things before the truck gets loaded, when the truck's in transit, when the truck arrives, so that you can do this safely and efficiently.